Britches, Dotty. On Monday morning, after the Saturday that Tom terrorized the town, Mr. Standish asked him to take the midterm examination with the 6th graders instead of the 5th graders. He said if Tom passed the examination, that he would promote my brother to the 6th grade, so that Tom could graduate in June. Mr. Standish always let the superior pupils skip a grade if they could pass the midterm examination for the next grade. It was no trick at all for Tom to get an A, so he moved from his desk in the 5th row with the 5th graders to the last row with the 6th graders. A couple of weeks later, when Papa come home from the advocate office, he had something on his mind. He told Mama that he had let a man named Charles Blake and his daughter move into the old adobe house. Mama and Papa had lived there when they first got married. It was furnished with our old furniture and had a small and large bedroom, a parlor, and a big kitchen. Papa put off telling Mama about it until we had finished eating supper. Blake? Mama asked as she rolled up her napkin and placed it in her silver napkin ring. I don't recall anybody by that name in town. How much rent is he going to pay? Papa sort of coughed like something was stuck in his throat. You know, Tina, the house has been vacant since the Palmers moved to Cedar City, Papa said. A house lasts longer when people are living in it. I see, Mama said. You told Mr. Blake he could live in the house rent-free? But why? Well, he isn't a Mormon, for one thing, Papa answered. You know how the Mormons look out for their own. If he were a Mormon, they would see to it that Blake and his daughter had a place to live and find some kind of work for the man. Just who is he? Mama asked. He was a wrangler who caught wild horses and broke them to a saddle or harness and sold them to the ranchers, Papa answered. He owned a small spread over near the Nevada line. Well, a few months ago, a wild horse fell on him and broke his leg in several places, and also permanently injured his back so that he could never ride again. Well, what little money he had was soon gone, and he lost his small ranch. Mama shook her head. Oh, the poor man, she said sadly. Dave Eckert gave Blake and the daughter a ride into town, Papa continued. He dropped them off at the advocate office this afternoon, thinking I might help the man find some kind of work in town. Blake's injuries made it impossible for him to do any heavy work, and he couldn't work standing up because he had to use a crutch to get around. What kind of work could he possibly do? Well, I read that wrong. It's because I'm getting thirsty. What kind of work could he possibly do? Mama asked. That part I took care of this afternoon, Papa said. I remember Jerry Stout telling me a few weeks ago that he was getting older and had more business than he could handle. I took Blake to see Jerry. Jerry offered to give Blake a job and teach him how to repair saddles, harnesses, and bridles in his shop, and it is work that can be done sitting down. Blake doesn't know it, but Jerry told me that if things work out, he'll sell the shop to him when he retires in a few years. That's very nice of Jerry, Mama said. Papa's face became solemn. Getting Blake settled was easy, he said. The daughter is much more of a problem. Blake lost his wife several years ago. Since that time, he has taken the girl with him into the mountains and plains and to capture the wild horses. He's raised her like a boy. She's about 12 years old and has never attended school. I just don't see how she'll be able to adjust to life in town. It'll be like a prison to her. She's like a wild creature. Her father calls her Dotty. All she needs is love and help, Mama said. It's going to take more than that, Papa insisted. I doubt she's ever worn a dress in her life. She wears Levi breeches, a boy's shirt, and a boy's cowboy boots. That's no problem, Mama said. I know several mothers who have clothing their daughters have outgrown. Bertha and I can make the girls some dresses and things. My judgment, Papa said soberly, she wouldn't accept them or wear them. And her father wouldn't permit it anyway. They are a proud and stubborn pair. Blake insisted I make out a promissory note for him to sign with an ex, promising to pay me rent when he gets on his feet before he'd move into the adobe house. Mama stared at Papa. Mr. Blake can't read or write? She asked. Ignorant but proud, Papa said. The next morning, after we finished our morning chores, Mama called Tom and me into the kitchen. She pointed at a bushel basket on the table. It was lined with wrapping paper. I could see a smoked ham, fruit jars, and several jars of homemade jellies and jams. You boys take this over to the Blakes, she said. Tom and I grabbed a hold of the wire hangers and carried the basket down to Main Street, to 3rd Street South, where we turned left. The adobe house was in the middle of the block. As we got near it, we stopped and stared. There was a girl wearing Levi breeches, a boy's shirt, and short cowboy boots, washing a window with her back turned toward us. I wouldn't have known it was a girl if I hadn't been for her yellow hair, tied in a braid behind her back. We continued on and set the basket on the small front porch of the adobe house. The girl heard us and turned around. She had a round face, burned a deep brown from outdoor living. Her face looked like it had been dunked in a barrel of freckles. She stared at us with unfriendly blue eyes. I'm Tom Fitzgerald, and this is my brother John, Tom introduced us. You must be Dotty Blake. Our mother and family welcome you and your father to Aidenville, and have sent you a few things. I thought it was a right neighborly speech, very nice, myself, but Dotty's eyes flashed. Us Blakes don't take charity from nobody, she said. At least she sounded like a girl when she talked. It isn't charity, Tom said. Just being neighborly. 'Tain't no difference, she said. Take it back. Me and Pa don't need help from nobody. Tom shrugged as he looked at me. We only picked up the bushel basket and carried it back home. We told Mama what happened. After setting the basket on the kitchen floor, Mama shook her head sadly. I guess your father was right, she said. The next morning, we went to the community church as usual, because there was no Catholic church in Aidenville. The Catholic missionary priests came to town about once a year to baptize Catholic babies, marry Catholics, to hold confessions, and masses for a few days in the community church. Papa said, I'm going to hear the Reverend Holcomb preach at the community center was better than no church at all. Mr. Blake was there dressed in overalls and a blue work shirt. I guess he didn't own a suit. And Dotty was there, bold as brass in her Levi breeches, boy shirts, and cowboy boots. Reverend Holcomb didn't seem to mind and welcomed them to the congregation. I'm going to call on the Blakes, Mama said when we returned home. Do you think that's wise? Papa asked. Mr. Blake and his daughter I've given every indication that all they want is to be left alone. I have every right to see how they're taking care of our house, Mama said. I'll use that as an excuse. And then I'll try to reason with Mr. Blake that being neighborly isn't charity. This was too exciting to miss. So Tom and I waited in our parlor with Mama and Aunt Bertha until Mama returned. She sure looked worried and sad as she sat down in her maple rocker. That girl has the house as neat as a pin, she said. Then what are you worried about? Papa asked. It isn't the house, Mama said. It's that poor girl and her stubborn father. He lets her do all the housework and cooking, but otherwise treats her like a son and not a daughter. He even boasted to me how he had raised her as if she were a boy, and how she could ride, use a lariat, a rifle, and other things better than a boy. At first I tried to reason with him, pointing out that now they were living in town, he should treat her as a daughter and not as a son. And do you know what he said? Papa waited as Mama paused and then asked, How could I know? I wasn't there. Mama shook her head. He said he liked his daughter just the way she was, and it was nobody else's damn business how he raised her. Then I pointed out to him that living in town did have some advantages, such as enabling his daughter to get an education. And do you know what he said to that? Papa was getting impatient with Mama as she paused again. My dear Tina, how could I possibly know? He said that he didn't hold with book learning, Mama said. The man is impossible. I was 100% in favor of Mr. Blake. Any father who didn't want his kid to go to school was all right for my money. There's nothing we can do about it, Papa said. It's Mr. Blake's business how he raises his daughter. Mama stood up, with that look of determination on her face I've seen so many times. I'm going to make it my business, and you're going to help me. We are going to force Mr. Blake to make his daughter go to school. How? Papa asked. You will go see Calvin Whitlock and the other members of the school board this afternoon and convince them it is in the best interest of Dotty Blake that she get an education, Mama said. Now pause here. I don't really hold with that kind of meddling in people's affairs. I'm sorry. No, I don't. So, maybe I'm the one with contention on this chapter. But we're going to continue it. Yeah, I've just got this contention. I never noticed it before. But that's not going to stop me. It's a good story. Okay. When Papa returned home late that afternoon, he seemed in good spirits. Well, Mama asked. It is all set, Papa said. Calvin and the members of the school board, along with Mark, representing the law, will go call on Mr. Blake in the morning. They will tell him the law forces all children to attend school through the 6th grade. Blake can't read, so there's no way for him to look it up or to look up the law. So this was even before the law. Jerry Stout and other. Well, what do you expect from a Christian, really? They're just so over-concerned with others that they can't see the actual harm they can or cannot cause. Oh, hey, that's bad. I should start over. I'm so evil. Just don't know how to deal with interference. Maybe you can fix that in a better world. Well, we're discussing amongst yourself. the ethicals and the morals and the how you feels in our comments section. Let's see, so it's all set. They'll tell the law forces the children to go to school through the 6th grade. Since Blake can't read, there will be no way for him to look up the law. Jerry Stout and others Blake might ask about it have all been agreed. They've all agreed to cooperate. The next morning, Mr. Whitlock entered our one-room schoolhouse looking very distinguished with his gray mutton chop side whiskers, and was accompanied by Dotty Blake and her father. Mr. Blake had yellow hair and a yellow mustache. His face was burned as brown as an Indian's skin. He was hobbling on a homemade crutch. "This is Dorothea Blake," Mr. Whitlock said to Mr. Standish. "She's never been to school. You will have to start her in the 1st grade and be patient with her." Then Mr. Whitlock and Mr. Blake left. Dotty looked scared and was biting her lower lip. She was wearing her Levi breeches, boy's shirt, and cowboy pants. Our teacher showed her to the seat in the front row with the 1st graders. "Welcome to our school, Dorothea." How do you say Dorothea? I guess Mr. Standish said. This is so hard to read. I'm the one with the contention. Mr. Standish said, "My name's Dotty, not Dorothea," she said. "Mr. Whitlock said your name was Dorothea, and that is what you'll be called in school," Mr. Standish said with authority. "I guess Pa knows my name better than Mr. Whitlock," Dotty said. "Pa calls me Dotty." Mr. Standish sort of shrugged. "All right, Dotty, if that's the way you prefer it," he said. Mr. Standish tried to include Dotty in the lessons for the 1st grade, but she just sat there with her arms folded and wouldn't answer him. When our teacher finally released us for the morning recess, Tom whispered to me, "That poor kid's in for a rough time." Tom was right. No sooner had the kids got outside on the playground than they began making fun of Dotty. Sammy Leeds was the ringleader. "Are you a boy or a girl?" Tammy asked, as all the kids crowded around her. "Can't tell with those breeches, boy shirt, and boots you're wearing." Then Marie Vincent put in her own 2 cents. "Britches Dotty hasn't got a dress to wear," she shouted, and then laughed. Christine McKay kept the insults going. "Why didn't your mother wash and curl your hair?" she asked. "I ain't got no ma," Dotty said. "She's dead." Well, I thought that would make the kids ashamed, but it didn't. Sammy laughed a cruel laugh. "Britches Dotty can't read or write," he shouted. "Britches Dotty is dumb, dumb, dumb." Then all the kids except Tom and me and Basil began to shout, "Britches Dotty is dumb, dumb, dumb." Sammy was the worst of all, stepping right up close to her and shouting the insult right in her face. She pushed him away. "You stop making fun of me or you'll be sorry," she said with a wild look in her blue eyes. "Sorry about what?" Sammy taunted her. "'Bout this!" Dotty shouted as she hauled off and punched Sammy right on the nose so hard it began to bleed. All the girls began insulting Sammy because they'd never seen a girl fight a boy. Let's see how many pages are left, because we're reaching our point. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh yeah. Certainly, yeah. Wait, what? No. I might be wrong. We'll find out in a second here. I'm going to shut this down in a minute. And they started making fun of Sammy because they'd never seen him. And we're going to stop it there. Hear that tomorrow. I want to see how right I am, though. This man is like the king of big chapters. This author. Oh, mahala wala. Hey, we'll be lucky if we don't get a part 3 out of it. Yeah, we are going to stop here. It's a nice place to stop. Alright. See you when I come back.